How's it going, guys? My name is RighteousNicky and welcome back to Hearthstone. Today I'm going to be showing you a new deck. Damn, that's been a while. And this deck was waiting for it for a long time. The Dragon Shaman. Well, let's start with the cards. This is actually, I would say mid to late game deck. Not really sure. It's a pretty strange deck. And we're going to start off with our first lowest drop here, Ancestral Healing. This is a utility card that I have set up here because most of my creatures are pretty beefy, as you can see, and the Ancestral Healing just gives you that trade potential that is pretty unique and valuable for 0 mana, so I decided to put just one in there. We have 2 Rock Bitter Weapon. The best case scenario for this card is for you to be using with the Doomhammer, but if you need it in the early game to clear some annoying minions, you can do that as well. Your only 1 drop is going to be 2 Gadgets and Jousters. This is a pretty solid minion, especially if you manage to win the Joust, and you have a decent chance to win the Joust because, as you can see, your deck is pretty heavy, especially on that 5 mana, 6 and 7 mana plus creatures. Next up we have 1 Wind Fury. This is used to surprisingly burst your opponent's face with some Rock Bitter weapons on a big minion like, let's say, a Blackwing Corruptor, or a Far Elemental, or a Far God Destroyer. Let's say if you have your Far Elemental on the board, you put the Wind Fury, that's 12, with the Rock Bitter, that's going to be 15. This is your main burst endgame card, and in the worst case you can use it to double trade a minion, which is going to be pretty valuable. Next up you have your only 2 drop minion, which is going to be the Fairy Dragon. It's pretty annoying to remove the Fairy Dragon. It can be targeted by spells and hero power, so your opponent needs to trade in it, and that's the main strength of the Fairy Dragon. Also, if you get it late game, you can hold it up for a Dragon synergy with your Blackwing Corruptor. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good card. What this deck lacks is early game, actually. If you don't manage to get your 1 and 2 drop here, which are only 2, you're going to have a pretty slow start and the aggro decks might ruin your life. Otherwise, if you manage to survive like to turn 2 or 3, you are going to get that value growing exponentially and you're going to be able to win the game. Next up you have the Flame Tongue Totem. This card is pretty useful with your totems, which you might need to play, especially in the early turns, because considering you have only 4 early creatures, you might need to play some totems there, and the Flame Tongue Totem is going to help you trade with them. Also, the Flame Tongue Totem is pretty useful with the Blackwing Technician. Making it a 5/5 in the mid game is very useful. You have 1 Lava Burst. I put that in for utility to maybe remove a bigger mid-range creature or a late-game creature for lower mana, or just to finish your opponent. You have 1 Lightning Storm as well to maybe clear the board from a lot of early game creatures that you haven't managed to clear. The 2 Blackwing Technicians, as I said, this is a very valuable card, especially if you're holding a dragon on turn 3. You can basically trade around 2 for 1 with this card for 3 mana, which is incredible. You have 1 Mana Tide Totem. This is also a utility card that I have included. It gives you card draw. It's the only card in this deck. Actually not. George Drake is also a card that gives you card draw. And you should probably play it if you don't have anything else, or if you have a steady board with which you can get more value out of it. You have 1 Dragonkin Sorcerer. This is one of those cards that your opponent wouldn't suspect to be dangerous, but this is one of the best cards to use your Wind Fury with and your Rock Bitter weapon with. Because if you play like, let's say, 1 Rock Bitter, this is going to turn into a 8/6. With the Wind Fury it's going to be a 9/7, so that's 18 damage. And the buff up stays forever, the +1/+1, so that makes it a pretty strong card. Far God Destroyer, this is going to be your ultimate 4 drop. It's almost strong as a 6 drop if you get lucky. It has overall 1, but that's not going to matter that much. Kezan Mystic. Considering the meta around is evolved Hunter Mages and Paladins, you want to have one of those little guys or little girls to be able to get at least one of your opponent's secrets. And yeah, it's a decent 4 drop even if you don't manage to play versus a class like that, and yeah, I just thought that one is going to be pretty useful in some situations. You could say that is another utility card in this deck. Doomhammer. This is your ultimate trading into small minions weapon. It can deliver up to 16 damage for 7 mana, which is probably one of the best weapons in the game for trading into small minions. And it also has great synergy with Rock Beater weapon. Bloodlust. This is going to help you to finish the game quickly if you have developed a steady board, and also in a worst case scenario to trade with an existing board into your opponent's board. And yeah, I could say this is also a utility card. Just that I included one of cards like Ancestral Healing, Bloodlust and Kezan Mystic because they're very situational, but you can almost always find a good use for them. Azure Drake, also a utility card I could say, but it's a dragon, so it's more combo oriented to the deck. It gives you some spell damage, which is pretty good with Lightning Storm and Lava Burst. And card draw. This deck needs some card draw, and I thought that just one is going to fit this spot perfectly. Blackwing Corruptor. This is a pretty valuable card for a dragon deck. Deal 3 damage on a 5 mana creature with 5/4 stats is pretty incredible. And you just want 2 of them in this deck. Earth Elemental. This is going to be your only taunt creature in this deck. It's pretty hard to remove. If your opponent has Big Game Hunter, of course it's going to be easy, but otherwise, if your opponent doesn't have a direct removal with a spell, it can soak up some pretty nice damage, especially on turn 5. Or even in the late game, it allows you to play something else for 5 mana, which is pretty useful. Emperor Thaurissan. This deck is actually pretty slow when you try it, and Emperor Thaurissan just gives you that edge in the late game that you can play 2 cards at once, like 2 Fire Elementals, a Fire Elemental and a Blackwing Corruptor, or a Fire Elemental and an Earth Elemental. Just gives you that mana efficiency that you desperately need. Of course, the 2 Fire Elementals, this is like a Blackwing Corruptor, but for 1 more mana. And to tell you the truth, I like them. I like that they can deal 3 damage, and I included all of them. This is going to give you incredible trade potential. Rain Blackhand, this is your, you could say, Big Game Hunter, but I just decided to include him because it's fun to play with him. It destroys a legendary minion. You're probably going to take something like Dr. Boom with him. And yeah, it's just pretty fun to play this card, so I decided to include it. And last but not least, my big boy dragon here is going to be Nefarian. I thought that this dragon is going to be the most useful of all of the big dragon dudes. Alexstrasza could also be nice, I guess. To be honest, Chromagus also seems like a good choice. But yeah, I think that Nefarian just, if you're lacking some phase damage, it might give you an answer. Like, let's say if you're playing versus a mage, you could get a fireball or something, just to give you some random reach to your opponent's face. And I just like the randomness of this card. And this is going to be Dragon Shaman, guys. I'm going to show you now some games, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright. Well, Warrior isn't very good for my Kezan Mystic, but let's see what we can do here. And I'm going to keep the Flame Totem. A second Flame Totem. Alright, actually you don't want to play a Fairy Dragon against a Warrior, because he's probably going to remove it pretty easily with a Fairy War X. And yep, I'm going to totem up next turn. Alright. That's actually not a bad totem. It can get buffed up to 3 damage, giving you a favorable trade against a warrior who can't poke it down easily. Alright. I'm just going to build my totems for now. Armor up again. I'm going to play the Farguard Destroyer now, because 6 HP is pretty hard to get removed. Yeah, I think Farguard Destroyer is pretty nice here. Because I'm going to get walked for 1 turn next turn, but I still have 4 mana to play a Dragonkin Sorcerer. That's going to get slammed and probably executed in the best case. Oh, not. Excellent. I'm very tempted to play a... Oh, there's the execute. Alright, I'm not tempted... Oh, shoot swam! Alright, well... That's pretty annoying. Let's play our Dragon King Sorcerer then. Switch Belcher, alright, I can remove that pretty easily with the Flame Tongue Totem. Hope he doesn't have a Brawl. I'm going to play one Totem here, and that's going to be it. Let's not play anymore. Another Belcher. Well, I think I can just trade this thing, I don't really mind. Actually, I'm going to get Healing Totem now, which is pretty good. But do I want Healing Totem? I think I want to play Torison, to be honest. Healing Totem can wait one turn, and let's not play the Gadgets Adjuster because I'm still afraid of Brawl here. Alright. Baron Geddon. Alright, it didn't really matter if I Healing Totem there. How do I want to take care of this? He might have some more scarier legendaries, so I don't want to waste a Rend Black Hand yet. What I can do is play a Blackwing Corruptor, play another Flame Tongue Totem, sacrifice the existing Flame Tongue Totem, and play a Totemic Call, which is going to give me a spell damage. Yeah, let's leave it like this. I could buff that up. Do I want to buff it up? It's going to protect me from at least the 4 weapon. Yeah, let's do this. It also protects me from Fairy Warx, not only Death's Bite. Oh, Gorhao. Alright, he's going to be taking a lot of phase damage here actually, and I think I have little here. 9, yeah, Bloodlust. GG. And let's play Red and Black and just... Oh. Or not. Alright. Good job. Alright, Druid. That's probably going to be a combo Druid. Those cards are actually pretty good. I think I want to keep them all. Farguard Destroyer is a pretty good contestant for Druid of the Qual. Especially if I get the attack of 6 or 7. And yeah. Let's see how we're going to do with this hand. And then actually combo druids, if that's a combo druid, run a lot of rat, especially if they are lucky enough to get early, so Fairy Dragon is going to be an excellent contestant to that. Wild Growth, alright, we got him a bit trapped here, if you could say. Let's play another Fairy Dragon to push up the phase damage. And I think we're going to be able to take care of almost anything. We can't kill a Shade. Yeti we can kill with the Flame Tongue Totem. Alright. I actually don't have a Dragon Synergy at the moment, because I played 2 of my Fairy Dragons. Unfortunately, 5 mana. Now he could play a Druid of the Qual. Iron for Grizzly. Alright, that's not the worst. He's going to play another minion. If he plays another minion, I might just Lightstorm. No. I think I'm going to trade here and play a Farguard Destroyer. I don't see any other choice. Yep. It's a bit wasteful, you could say, but it's going to have to do. And now with the Farguard Destroyer, I'm going to have a pretty good trading options to whatever he plays. He might decide to Big Game Hunter that if he has one. Innervate into an 8-drop. Is that going to be an Iron Bark Protector? Wow. Alrighty. Well, a 4-drop is going to contest the Mighty Iron Bark. Let's do it. And actually, let's play the Mana Tide, because I'm going to force him to waste a good spell on that Mana Tide. It's going to give him some much needed card draw, especially on an open board here. Oh, that's going to get valuable traded with a Fire Elemental, unfortunately for him. And I want to put the Fire Elemental on the left here, so it contests with another Iron Bark Protector. And I'll be going to get the card draw, which is very important. If the druid doesn't get an answer pretty soon, I'm just going to overrun him with the card value I'm going to get. And it seems that might be happening here. Alright, well, I can just play a Earth Elemental here. Stay call, and I'm going to be able to finish the game next turn with the 5 mana I'm going to get for a Bloodlust. Has 9 mana, he was probably hoping for a combo. Sage Shoot Master with Mark of the Wild? That seems pretty desperate. Alright, let's see if we're going to have Little here. 7, another Mark of the Wild. Damn. Alright, let's pump up the gears here. Alright, how much is going to be the damage here? 10? 8? I want to trade with that, I think. I'm going to be left with 16, 9... Oh, I have little, yeah. I had 22. I was just doing the math there. Just Rabbit the Hunter, alright. Ooh, a 1-drop. And I'm going first, I'm definitely keeping that. Flame Tongue Totem is going to be useful as well if I don't get the Joust win. And a Rock Bitter Weapon, alright. This is a pretty good hand to contest a Face Hunter if that's a Face Hunter. Let's go with Gadgets and Jouster. And let's see if we can win this. We're probably going to win it, yep. Pretty good, indeed. And let's see what's going to be heading in our particular direction. If he plays a 3-attack minion, which he's actually going to need to coin out, I'm going to Rock Bitter it. Leopard Gnome, I'm going to have a pretty nice trade with that. I'm going to pop up a Totem. We got the Kazan Mystic as well. Unfortunately, that's not Taunt or Heal. Taunt would have been the best because he probably might have a Glaive Zook or something here. If he plays a Secret this turn, yeah, I'm not going to want to attack actually. I'm going to play dead, if you could say, pass the turn. And let's see, he could play Unleash the Hounds here. He could play an Eagle Horn Bow. He's probably wondering, maybe he's building the board here. He's not going to be expecting that I'm going to have a Kazan Mystic. He may play an Animal Companion as well. Generally a 3-drop, I'm expecting either Eagle Horn or Animal Companion. Let's see what's going to be. A Knife Jaguar, alright. What could he play? A 1-drop minion? A coin into a... what? A Haunted Creeper, alright, that's pretty annoying. And that's pretty unlucky. Alright, let's get his secret here. That is going to be an explosive. Alright, I just want to remove this Knife Jaguar and he can do whatever he wants with the Haunted Creeper. Let's just go face. I actually don't have a Dragon Synergy yet, which is pretty annoying. Oh, that's 3 damage because of the spell damage. That's pretty nice as well. 4-drop, what could it be? Mad Sands. Alright, I don't want to attack this Mad Sands. Oh, he's having a lot of secrets. Right, actually that might be a Freezing Trap. And I want to test the Freezing Trap actually. I don't mind getting another secret from the Mad Sands. Oh, it was an explosive. Fuck. Alright, that's not the worst, I guess. Let's just play a Blackwing Totem. I hope it's a heal. Spell damage again. Alright. He played 2 explosive trap there. That's pretty interesting. Alright then. Deadly Shot, alright. Now that he wasted that, I'm going to have a pretty nice Fire Elemental here. I don't want to be attacking the Mad Sands anytime soon. I'm just going to take care of this Leopard Gnome here. Okie dokie. I have a pretty decent threat here. He's now going to figure out, I'm actually in a pretty bad spot. I might just go face. But the thing is, I can go face as well, my friend. And my face is a bit more scarier than yours. Alright. Another Blackwing. I think I want to play that. Let's play the Drakenkin Sorcerer and let's prepare for a Bloodlust turn. We have a Rock Bitter Weapon and a Flame Tongue Totem, so that's going to be pretty sure lethal here. Even if he has Taunt. Unleash the Hounds. I don't think he has lethal here. Going to Hunter's Mark that? Is that going to get a buff? Oh no, it's whenever you... That was high mark there. Alright, I have 9. Bloodlust is going to be 15. Yep, I have little. Yeah, let's just finish this guy off. GG. Alright, Shaman vs Shaman, we were playing versus Neo, the chosen one. Damn. I guess I'll be the chosen one this game, Neo, because I have the well, not the perfect opening, because the perfect opening would be getting a Jouster instead of one of the Rock Beater weapons, but still a pretty good opening. Above average, if you could say, which is going to give me a lot of tempo in the early game. Alright, let's see who is going to be the chosen Shaman to win this game. Bodos is a pretty bad card to get this early, but anyway. Let's see what this guy is going to play. Can he play anything? Alright, fantastic. Let's play a Fairy Dragon then. I am mostly scared if he plays a Totem Golem. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade for him, which is going to be pretty bad for me. But if he doesn't have a Stormforge X, alright, that's pretty good counter to my Fairy Dragon here, unfortunately. He's going to be walked 1 mana at least. He's probably going to play a Totem. And I'm going to have a Town Totem, which he's probably going to want to remove with his weapon. Alright, let's see what he's going to do. I really hope he doesn't play a minion. I think he's going to play a minion. A coin, a 3-drop, what that could be. Is that going to be the Spirit Wolves? Oh, to scare Totemic. And a Totem Golem. God damn it. Alright, I'm going to have to play the Dragon Sorcerer and prepare the board for either Earth Elemental or a Lightning Storm. He's probably going to favorable trade here with the Totem Golem and the weapon and try to get a Healing Totem and another 2-drop, maybe. That's going to be the best case scenario for him. Oh, that's even better. Oh boy, that's definitely a Lightning Storm board here. Oh, he played it actually pretty good here. That's going to survive. But still I need to Lightning Storm. Let's play a Totem first here. That's a bad Totem. And that thing survived. Yeah, that's pretty bad for me. Now he's going to remove it, definitely. And I need to find a way to remove those stuff before they get annoying. It's going to be very nice if I get a dragon so I can... Oh boy, that is pretty annoying. But he's actually not going to kill them. Actually, I want to kill the Codemaster because I don't want to give him a card draw. And yeah, I'm going to play the Blackwind Technician just for a minion here. So I have something to trade with. Right, next turn I have a Fire Elemental plus Rock Beater weapon, which is pretty nice. Hope he doesn't play anything big here. Let's see. Power Mace. Does he have Mechs as well? Right, he's playing... Oh, he's going for the face. I see. I see what he's trying to do here. Alright, what we want to do here is a Rock Beater. Kill the Taunt. Fire Elemental here. And trade off with this. And I really hope he doesn't have Little here. I'm going to have to play my Earth Elemental pretty soon. As well. He only just needs a Lava Burst here, to be honest. Let's have 2 Rock Beater. No, Lava Shock. Alright, well, what can you do exactly though? Sometimes you're going to lose stuff to that, no big. Storm Brewer. Alright. Ooh. You go first. I actually want to keep the Fire Guard Destroyer. That is an excellent 4-drop as always. It has the potential for 2 or actually even 3 to trade with that much HP. But let's see. Right, I'm going to play the Jouster, of course. And let's hope we win this. We did. Oh, a Golden Cut Purse. I haven't seen that before. Right, this is going to be a pretty interesting rock. He might decide to coin Hero Power Backstab trade here to win the tempo. Which is going to be pretty good because I don't have a 2-drop. Oh, he might be doing that. Is he going to do that? I think he might be doing that. Alright, he didn't. He's probably going to play a deadly poison, so let's try to get a totem, a town totem. Healing totem. Alright, that wasn't the best, I guess. And if he plays a deadly poison, I actually don't want to play Manatite, but I might need to play a Manatite because I don't have anything else. Right, at least he's not going to play a 1-drop probably. Probably he doesn't have one. Oh, he has. It's going to be a... Oh, South Sea Deckhand? Alright. Yeah, I have to play that. It's exactly 3 mana and why not? I'm going to waste his Wicked Knife stack. I hope. And gives me to roll a bit on my deck a bit faster here, which is always nice. Right, so I'm playing the Farguard Destroyer, I guess. Beneath the grounds. Alright, that's interesting. Alright, do I have a dragon? I don't have a dragon, unfortunately. The lowest attack, even the lowest attack isn't that bad, a 4-6 or you could say 4-5 is pretty decent as well. He might decide to backstab Eviscerate here. He's probably definitely going to use an Eviscerate to remove this thing. Oh, he doesn't have the mana for it. Alright, I think this is a pretty good board to Lightning Storm. And Rock Beater weapon as well. Let's keep the minion. Excellent. He might decide to assassinate here, but I really doubt that he might have this card, to be honest. Cut Purse. Another Beneath the Grounds? Alright, this is getting a bit scary here. Alright. Oh boy. Actually, I don't want to give him a coin, so let's just do that in a Blackwing Technician. I want to keep my Dragon in Sorcerer because there is no way for me to know when again I'm going to get another dragon. And yeah, let's see what he's going to play. He might play... No, he isn't. Right, what was going to be? Another Deadly Poison into Eviscerate probably. Yep. And... Oh, he's going to attack there? Wow, he's pretty desperate to clearing the board. Nefarian. Let's play that and a totem. Killing totem, alright. I was hoping for a taunt, but... Alright, he finally removed that. I was actually expecting Trade Prince Garwix here. And voila. And I think this is game. Yep. Sorry, Rock. Actually was pretty... if he got some spiders there in the early game, I might have had some troubles, but he didn't get lucky, unfortunately. Well, this is going to be everything from today that I'm going to show you from Dragon Shaman, guys. I hope you enjoyed this deck. I hope that you try it if you have the time. It's not a top tier deck. It's a more fun deck, fun oriented deck, and you're going to have troubles versus a lot of early hard aggro decks. But if you're playing versus something like a mid-range deck, you're actually going to have a pretty decent chance of winning. So I really hope you give it a shot. And that's going to be everything from me today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay righteous.